Good morning. My name is Patrick Kelly, principal of Triton High School. I would like to welcome our wonderful faculty and staff who have come to support their students today. This group of educators has worked tirelessly to support the class of 2022. On behalf of the faculty and administration, I am happy to welcome our students, parents, guardians, friends, and relatives to our commencement ceremony. It is now my distinct honor and great pleasure to present to you the graduating class of 2022. At this time, we would like to welcome the Triton High School Band for the playing of the National Anthem. The anthem is being directed today by Miss Evelyn Buxton and Mr. Lucian Densmore. Could everyone please remove your hats and remain standing for the playing of the anthem? At this time, I ask all of us to observe a moment of silence in memory of those recently lost, whether that be tragically in Uvalde, Texas, during the coronavirus pandemic, or in our armed services. Thank you. We would now like to recognize our graduates who are entering a military program and intending to serve in our armed forces upon graduation. I would like to ask each to stand when I call their name to be recognized. John Anastasio. John will be attending the University of North Dakota in the fall and will be participating in the Air Force ROTC program. He will be studying commercial aviation. Upon graduation, he will be entering the Air Force as a second lieutenant. The U.S. Air Force's motto of aim high, fly, fight, win is both a call to action and a promise in response. The Air Force always pushes itself to new heights, and it expects its airmen to do the same. Next, Sydney Marsh. Sydney is intending to enlist in the Marines following graduation. The Marine motto is Semper Fidelis, meaning always faithful. This symbolizes the lifelong commitment held by every Marine, both to the Corps and to America. Both of these individuals will be provided the opportunity to serve their country. Please join us in thanking them for their commitment and desire to serve. It is now my pleasure to introduce Lizzie Protopappas, one of your class officers, to the stage to welcome our invited guests.
We will now introduce our invited guests and ask them to briefly rise as their name is announced. The chairperson of the Triton Regional School Committee, Ms. Linda Litovsky. And members of the school committee joining us today, Mr. Paul Mayette, Mr. Matthew Landers, Miss Narissa Wallen, and we would like to recognize the selectmen from our towns. From Newbury, Mr. Dana Packer, Miss Alicia Greco, Mr. Jeffrey Walker, and from Rowley, Mr. Joseph Perry, Mr. Bob Snow, Miss Christine Nealand, and from Salisbury, Miss Ronalee Ray Parrott, Mr. Michael Colburn, and I would like to recognize the School District Central Office Administrators, Mr. Brian Forgent, Superintendent of Schools, and Mr. Kyle Warren, School Business Administrator. It is with both pride and respect that the class of 2022 would also like to recognize the faculty, staff, and administrators from the high school, middle school, and each of our elementary schools present at our graduation today. We ask our fellow guests and all of our graduates to join us in applauding these professionals whose support and dedication has helped shape each member of the graduating class. I would now like to welcome Principal Kelly back to the podium to deliver his remarks.
We did have one additional selectman that we had yet to recognize, which is Mr. Charles Takesian from Salisbury. Congratulations to the class of 2022. We are all here today to recognize the collective work that you have completed over the past 13 school years to get yourself here, to this point, today. I hope that each of our graduates will also take a moment to recognize the countless hours of work that many others, some of whom are here today, and some who are not in attendance, invested into each of you to help you succeed. The journey towards graduation is long, and while you may not have realized it when you began, your community was helping you to learn specific life lessons from the very beginning. Along the way, you've been focused on many of the interim milestones, whether that be learning to read, participating in the jogathons, going to environmental camp, attending your middle school meet and greet, taking a field trip to Canada, or coming to your first day of high school. However, when you reflect upon your time in the Triton School District, I hope that you begin to recognize some of the specific moments when teachers and other educators may have helped guide you towards many of these life lessons. Then, throughout your high school experience, you've been faced with academic, health, and societal challenges that have made each phase of your high school experience more complex and challenging. However, you have persisted. This graduating class has sought to overcome each obstacle to ensure a greater sense of normalcy in the classroom and throughout your extracurricular activities. All of the work and effort has enriched your experience and has been pointing you towards this day. Graduation is often viewed as a singular moment of achievement. However, I believe it is really about persistence over time. In speaking with your class advisors, they described your class as relentless, community-oriented, and always willing to stand for a cause. These defining characteristics, I believe, are truly vital for your future success and are each the culmination of years of lessons that Triton educators, family members, and community partners have instilled. The paper diploma you received today is special, but it is not the true marker of what you have learned. What we've all been collectively investing into you is 13 years of lessons, with the hope that when you walk out of this stadium this afternoon, you are ready to stand side by side us as colleagues and fellow community members. One of the most significant lessons that I hope each of you take away from your time in the Triton Public Schools is how to be persistent in working towards your goals. Any accomplishment you earn is going to take consistent effort, much of which will not be recognized. Take that same sense of tenacity that led to your class's success in school and bring it forward into your future endeavors. It is always a focus of the faculty and staff to instill a sense of community and service in our students, something this graduating class has exemplified over their high school careers. This group of graduates has been recognized both locally and nationally for their service in our community. This has been a defining characteristic of the class of 2022. You have bonded over shared struggles and a desire to improve your community. We will need you to leave us ready to further build your local, state, and national communities. You have also been a class willing to stand for a cause and advocate for change. This graduating class led walkouts, participated in rallies, voiced their perspective and needs in public forum, made presentations to school committee, and worked the appropriate channels to get things done. Our school is better off today as a result of your advocacy and vision. Our world needs your generation to continue to take on these leadership roles. The class of 2022 has also found joy in learning and in their wider school experience. They have acted and played in the classroom. They have investigated deeply, and they have invested in each other's success to ensure that their high school experience would be wonderful. Without joy and excitement, there cannot be meaningful, lasting learning. These lessons all have value. While your class was presented with challenges, learning how to persist over time, build a strong community, and advocate for change are some of the greatest hopes we have for our children when they enter our school system. We know that when you leave us, you may not remember every bit of content we taught, but we want you to leave having received the life lessons and experiences that you will be able to transfer across all settings. From today on, you begin a new journey, and you can start a new legacy. We hope you take the lessons you've learned and the values that have been imparted moving forward into your life. Just as was the case with your prior 13 years, things will not always be easy. There will be unforeseen struggles. When you are in those moments and faced with adversity, lean on the teachings you have received. Take a deep breath, smile, remind yourself that you have done and can do hard things, and then get to work, as you have done all along. We are so proud of the young adults each of you has become. You have the necessary schooling and perspective to be successful with whatever your next steps may be. This graduating class will be dearly missed. However, we know you are ready for life's next phase. Congratulations to the class of 2022. I would now like to welcome Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Brian Forget, to the podium to deliver his remarks.
Good morning, everyone. To the graduates, your families, my distinguished colleagues, school committee members, town and state officials, again, welcome to the commencement ceremony for Triton's class of 2022. I think it's safe to say that we're living in some extraordinary times. It's nice to be back to a normal graduation ceremony, but I'm finishing my 27th year here in the district, and I can't remember any other graduating class that has had their high school career more impacted by something like the pandemic. You'd be justified to be angry, frustrated, or maybe grieved by the experience, but I'm hopeful that you will allow these past 4 years, and especially the last 2.5, to help you become stronger, wiser, and more empathic individuals. Use these challenges to draw strength and energy to envision a future for yourself that is good and meaningful, not in spite of these times, but because of them. You're sitting here today likely with a crazed mixture of emotions racing through your head. Most of you are bubbling over with excitement, and not because you get to sit and listen to speeches. You're excited about whatever it is the next chapter will be: college, military, career, or maybe you're taking some time to decide. Many of you are sad thinking about leaving the familiarity of friends and the schools you've called home for the last 13 years. Some also may be sitting here fearing what the next step will be, as it feels riddled with uncertainty. Regardless of where your brain and heart are today, what I know for a fact is that you'll face both triumphant and challenging times ahead, and both will be better with the support of those around you. Our success as humans in community with one another is determined largely by how we respond in life, to both the good and the bad. It's easy to respond well during the best of times, but far more difficult to do so when life is not going as we'd imagined. I want to remind you today about something that is a vital component in all seasons of life: hope. Those who can hold on to hope, even during the most challenging times of our lives, are the very individuals who find the greatest joy and success in life. We need to have hope. I spent some time digging into this word, hope. I Googled and read articles and narratives, listened to some TED Talks about all the various views from the experts. I don't know what it means to be an expert on hope, but they are experts. What is it about hope that's such a powerful force in our lives? And how do we keep it alive, especially when it feels like the very thing sliding through our fingers as we try to keep a grip on it? As I read and listened, there were 3 consistent themes that emerged from all of the authors and speakers. You first have to take care of yourself. You have to make positive contributions to others. And you have to seek out hope. If you haven't already, you are going to learn quickly after graduation just how much the choices you make impact and shape you. This is true of both wise choices and less than wise choices. So it's important to remember to choose wisely so you can care for yourself. I am not suggesting that you're selfish. It is not all about you. But it is about you. My old and wise friend Merriam-Webster defines selfishness as seeking or concentrating on one's own advantage, pleasure, or well-being without regard for others. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. The key phrase in that definition is without regard for others. I'm not suggesting that you don't look out for one another and those around you. Quite the opposite. I believe we thrive when we do look out for those around us. But we can't do that if we're not first taking care of ourselves. Your ability to remain well and ever hopeful starts with how you feel about yourself, and caring for yourself is the foundation. Be intentional about the choices you make, and set ambitious goals for what you want to do and be, but also be realistic in how you set out to achieve them. Class of 22, the world needs you, but we need the best version of you. When you're in a good place, you're poised to make positive contributions to the worlds around you. Second, we're better, happier, and more productive when we're in a healthy community with others. That takes on a very different look and feel depending on who you are and who your community is. But a community that supports one another in positive, life-giving choices is key. Even more important, we're better when we're contributing to the community and their well-being. It's so easy to get bogged down in our own struggles, and we all do. And we forget about helping others. But I encourage you to be intentional about actively and deliberately seeking ways to help and support those around you. Keeping an outward focus and seeing the positive impact of your actions on others helps foster overall good health and well-being and allows you to keep an open and hopeful mindset. Finally, we have to seek out hope. There are so many things in our lives that are way beyond our control, so we have to focus on what we can control. When we're intentional about the choices we make to keep ourselves healthy and contribute to those around us, we find ourselves in a better state of mind. However, we are all aware that there are many things and people in our lives that can divert and thwart our healthy intentions, so we have to choose to be hopeful. As much as I would love it, hope is not going to arrive on the front porch with my latest purchase from Amazon. But wouldn't that be awesome? Being hopeful is a choice, so it's important to look for the good in all things, to train our brains during the best of times, so we can have the muscle memory for when life is presenting more struggle than calm. There's something to learn in all of life's experiences, even the most challenging, if we're willing to listen and learn. I guarantee it won't be easy, class of 22, but choosing an open and hopeful mindset will change your overall perspective in life and set you on a path towards success in everything you do. In the words of Martin Luther King, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Members of the class of 22, I know your high school experience was different than what you expected when you walked through those doors 4 years ago, and nothing can change that. Learn from that experience. Take all the disappointment, hardship, and sadness, and all the joy, success, and triumphs that you experienced, and allow it to give you strength and perspective. And don't let that experience change you, but use that experience and perspective to go out and change the world. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true that I have such high hopes and can't wait to hear all of your stories. Congratulations, class of 22, and take care of yourselves. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome Patrick Kelly back to the podium.
It is my pleasure to now introduce the Triton High School Band, directed by Miss Susan Densmore, who will be playing The Black Horse Troupe by John Philip Sousa. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our first honor speaker. Kate Trojan is this year's Salutatorian. Kate has been an exceptional student and an integral member of her graduating class. She has been an active participant pushing for the continued improvement of her school. She has regularly advocated for the needs of her fellow students. As Salutatorian, Kate's theme will be the past.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank all of the family and friends in attendance for supporting the class of 2022, not only today, but throughout our journey through school. Thank you to all of the Triton teachers and staff who have worked so hard to help us reach this moment today. For most of us, our Triton careers started 12 years ago at Pine Grove, Newbury, or Salisbury elementary schools, where we had the chance to return and visit this past week. Walking through my old school, so many memories came flooding back to me. All of the field days and cookouts, which was the only day in elementary school where I ever bought school lunch. The jog-alongs, where we would compete to see who could get the most checks on their cards and then get popsicles afterwards. The ice cream socials, Christmas sing-alongs, and so much more. Even the smaller events are some of my best memories in elementary school, like throwing our lunch boxes by the stairs before recess, and snow day recesses on the hot top. For anyone at Pine Grove, I'm sure you remember the Foursquare supremacy that I was very much a part of. I remember those daily games pretty vividly. I thought back to ecology camp, which was at the time quite possibly the most important week of my life. I can sometimes still remember the songs that the counselors sang as we walked in groups around the grounds of the camp. As our schools became more technologically advanced, our elementary classes had access to Chromebooks. That first batch of Chromebooks are probably the slowest and worst computers I've ever used. But back then, those sleek, shiny, luxurious white laptops were the coolest thing anyone could have imagined. Everyone looked forward to seeing those cards roll into the classrooms, while now we would probably laugh if we had to do this again. After our first big graduation celebration and first major school dance in 6th grade, we moved on to the middle school, where we were all finally united. I'm assuming you all, like myself, were pretty intimidated at the thought of going to the same school as all of the high schoolers, who at the time seemed so much older than us. While our time there went by quickly, we were finally able to have all three towns together, and able to make new friends before we went off to the other half of the building. From corn mazes to Montreal, we packed a lot into a small 2-year window. I remember our first day of high school, sweating while on the tour because of nerves and the lack of air conditioning. It seemed like such a maze, while the floor plan was literally 2 squares. I only did end up showing to the wrong class once. What was once a big school now feels much smaller after being with you all for so many years. As we got acclimated, we got to experience our first homecoming with the theatrical decorations and the always well-rehearsed skits. And Mr. THS, where eating an obscene amount of chicken nuggets was an impressive feat. Each year, we had the Viking Day of Giving, where we could give back to our community, or, for some people, squeeze in some necessary community service hours. But we can never forget all of the issues we've had as a district, like the bees that overtook the courtyards and classrooms just this past year. It wouldn't have been right without the gym pipes randomly bursting and spraying like the fire sprinklers, or all of the wet floor signs and trash cans that collected water from the leaking ceiling. With our small class, the school has always been a place where I felt comfortable, minus a few incidents in the library, which I think we can all probably relate to. We can look back on our time at high school and think of the important questions we've asked, like, what is a noob? John, I really hope you have that one figured out by now. Why Triton was a question sometimes asked on a rough day, but today I think we can all look back on our fond memories at this school and answer it for ourselves. Those questioning moments make for some great memories, in addition to all the special ones we have made through our time here. Both in and out of the classroom, our school community has had a strong presence. In addition to their in-season schedules, our athletic teams have seen state playoff games, Cal honors, and even state titles. The arts department has had the marching band attend New England finals, Garb has had their weekly and season competitions, and drama has produced their wonderful fall plays and spring musicals. For all these teams and groups, the school community has shown up and supported each other at games and performances. From watching these events, like the weekly football games, to being a part of one of these teams or groups, we have all made lifelong memories and lifelong friendships. After all, it is us, all of the people here, who helped make these memories. While we are surrounded with social media and we document and record everything we do, sometimes the best memories are the ones when our phones aren't around and we have no pictures. Just that memory, a memory that you can cherish and relive from a time when you were present in your life and present in the moment. These are the much more real moments that defined our time here at high school. And I think our greatness as a graduating class is solidified through all the teachers retiring this year. They knew that the student selection couldn't possibly get any better, so they chose to go out with the best possible class. In the end, none of these memories would exist without the people here. Thank you all for making high school so special and memorable. Stay classy, Triton High School.
We would now like to welcome our singers group to perform a choral selection. They will be performing I Lived by Ryan Tedder and Noel Zancanella and arranged by Jacob Narvarud.
Hope when the water rises, you will
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our second honors speaker. Savannah Soul is this year's valedictorian. Savannah has exemplified. We can cheer for her. Savannah has exemplified the characteristics we hope all of our students have in the classroom. She is diligent and curious, always looking to further her own understanding. As valedictorian, Savannah's theme will be the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Savannah Soul. I'd like to start by thanking everyone who got us all here. Parents, teachers, administrators, everyone in the school who has done all they can to ensure our success. We truly would not be here without all of you. During our sophomore year of high school, the ceiling in the gym exploded. Gallons upon gallons of brown liquid sludge spewed out of the ceiling all over the floor, ending whatever game was being played in that gym class. For me, when I found out I was going to have to write this speech, I felt like all of those gallons of sludge were pouring on my head. I have done a lot of difficult things in high school, from spending 8 hours straight on A-push homework to working 3 jobs at once, but none of them were as difficult as sitting down to write this speech. I had shuffled back and forth between ideas for days straight and written 3 different versions of this speech before Miss Dempsey gave my class our final English prompt, where I found the following quote from a Steve Carell movie. "High school, those are your prime years of suffering. You don't get better suffering than that." This quote really resonated with me as I thought back on some of my favorite times throughout high school. The 90-minute long periods of pain of junior year, trying not to sleep through my Zoom classes, and of course, watching one of my friends throw up the school lunch pizza. But for some reason, when I thought back about all of the experiences that made high school years of suffering in my mind, after those few moments, my mind went blank. Now, after 720 days of being at Triton High School, the memories that stuck with me were not the ones where I anxiously awaited tests or presentations. They are the ones where I sat watching The Office in Miss Thompson's class, listening to Mr. Getty's stories of working at Yankee Candle, aka being a Russian spy, and listening to Miss Thompson sing to us for the 50th time. Sorry, Miss Galante. I will never forget times like sitting back in Miss Dempsey's class, laughing much too loudly with my friends as Christian's Chromebook screen smashed down with the cream cheese-coated bagel Zach placed inside it. So while high school is meant to be, and surely is, a time for academic growth, what I have learned is much greater than the function of phosphofructokinase or how to find the volume of a solid with circular cross-sections perpendicular to the x-axis. It is that your life is shaped by the people you spend time with. The future is an uncertain place. There is no textbook to read, no Quizlet page to study, and truly it is impossible to control what happens from now on. Sure, working hard and focusing on your own success will bring you closer to your future than sitting around hoping the best will come. But there is still uncertainty. The one thing you can control is the people you bring into your life. I asked several teachers what they thought was the most important thing for future success, and nearly all of their answers centered around relationships with people. There is nothing more important than having friends who will stand by your side, helping you during tough times and making sure you don't mess up your one chance at having the life you imagine. Because even if high school didn't go your way, you can still achieve all your goals in the future. We all make fun of Triton for the leaky ceilings and broken AC, but not a single person here can say Triton has not brought them memories they will never forget and people that shaped their lives. So, most valedictorian speeches include a sizable section talking about different futures of graduates, going into the military, different majors being studied, and going into the workforce. But me standing up here and telling you what everyone is doing adds time onto my speech that I'm sure most of you wish ended a couple minutes ago, and does nothing for developing connections. Instead, start a conversation with someone yourself, and maybe you'll find someone with similar interests and someone who will shape your future. Thank you.
At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Michael Jones, President and CEO of the Institution for Savings Bank. Not only does the Institution for Savings provide generous scholarships to local students, they also sponsor an important financial literacy event for area schools through the Credit for Life Fair, and have supported Triton in a myriad of ways, including helping to fund this very stadium. Thank you to the Institution for Savings for the opportunities provided to our students and to the Triton community. Again, I would like to please welcome Mr. Michael Jones.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Good morning, everyone, and congratulations to all of you here today. On behalf of the Institution for Savings, I want to thank each of you who applied for our scholarship, and I wish all of you the best as you begin a new chapter in your life. As many of you know, this award is only given to 6 high school seniors from 11 different high schools within the Banks Branch network. And I think that there were about 120 applicants this year, and I'm truly honored that we chose someone from this class. This year's recipient is an exceptional young lady who has excelled academically and shown great leadership during her 4 years here. Our scholarship committee was very impressed by her outstanding essays. The theme throughout her essays is to push yourself to the limit to achieve goals that will make you happy. Don't listen to the negativity or judgment that surrounds all of us. And most importantly, she tells us to learn to love yourself and then love the world. Our recipient plans to study biology on a pre-med track. She will be attending Boston College this fall, This young lady has a very, very bright future ahead of her, and we are proud to invest in her education. It's an honor for me to announce the recipient of the Institution for Savings Scholarship in the amount of $20,000 is Savannah Soul.
And Savannah didn't know that was coming, so that was a surprise mid-ceremony. I now ask the officers of the class of 2022 to join me on stage for the presentation of the class gift. Kyle Boulay, Morgan Hall, Elliot Lent, Paige Levitt, Lizzie Protopappas, Will Sales, and Sage Woodward, please come to the stage.
The class of 2022 would like to recognize their time spent here by donating a gift to the school that recognizes both their commitments to the arts and to the athletic programs of Triton High School. The class of 2022 is donating 2 athletic benches to be used here at the new stadium to honor the many hours spent practicing and competing with Triton Pride. The class of 2022 will also be donating miscellaneous gifts totaling to a sum of $1,500 to the Triton Arts Departments to commemorate the time spent working to entertain. Both of these gifts will also serve to recognize the tireless hours spent by the coaches and teachers who helped shape the class of 2022 into the graduates that we are today. Thank you.
On behalf of Triton High School, I am pleased to accept this gift from the class of 2022.
As the class officers, we wanted to take a few moments to thank many of our staff members that have helped to make our experience memorable. We have seen how much work goes into planning and supporting all of our class events and making sure we have had great experiences. We would like to thank the high school secretaries, Miss Carroll, Miss Garfield, and Miss P, the guidance staff, cafeteria staff, maintenance, all of our teachers, the school administration, and our parents.
Also, thank you to all the staff and town officials who have worked hard to support the seniors in a variety of ways over the last month. Lastly, we would especially like to thank our class advisors, Mr. Joseph Galante and Dr. Eric Champy. Their constant effort and support to our class has made our experience wonderful. Exit the stage.
At this time, I call upon Ms. Linda Latovsky, the chairperson of the school committee, to award diplomas to the class of 2022. The presentation of students will be completed by Dr. Eric Champy and Mr. Joseph Galante. The presentation of diplomas will be conducted by Ms. Linda Latovsky, Mr. Brian Forget, and Mr. Patrick Kelly.
Savannah May Soul. Catherine Virginia Trojan. Kyle William Boulay. Morgan Grace Hall. Paige Catherine Levitt. Elliot Henry Lent. Elizabeth Mitchell Nora Protopappas. William Joseph Sales. Sage Anastasia Woodward. Kaylee Anaquina Abbott Bishop. Joseph Lewis Apt. Nicholas James Agrella. John Vincent Anastasio. Megan Elizabeth Atherton. Parker Stoddart Barons. Olivia Susan Bateman. Willem Coffin Beaton. Jacob George Beauparlant.
Julia Alcina Beauvais. Mia Fallon Berardino. Justin Joseph Bishop. Noah Diallo Bissell. Louis Michael Bolin. Nicole Jean Boyington. Emily Megan Brimacombe. Owen James Brosh. Evelyn Edgewood Buxton. Isabel Francis Camargo. Jameson Drew Karen. Jacob Riley Cole. Marina Francis Crivello. Cole Thomas Daniels. Angelina Isabella DeLuca. Lucian Samuel Densmore. John Luke DiTullio. Nicholas Joseph Dupuis. Kylie Pauline Eaton.
Makala Rose Erickson. Nathan Spofford Ewell. Reagan Lynn Falloon. Margaret Louise Farrell. Madison Rose Ferrero. Ellie McIntyre Gakeline. Zachary Ramon Godfrey. Sean Eric Gundrum. Jasmine Anne Marie Hardy. Maya Nicole Hayes. Maeve Ann Heffernan. Kendall Japheth Hernandez Sobalvaro. Amelia Grace Height. Anthony Luciano Hill. Reese Bennett Hillemeyer. Madison Grace Hillick. Cody John Hurton. Emily Catherine Jacobs. Madison Marie Jakes. Fauze Jamil Juraj.
Molly Marie Kimball. Jordan Kathleen Labby. Janelle Marie Landfear. Garrett Allen Lee. Alexandra Rosemarie Lennon. Jared Michael Leonard. Samuel Jack Lind. Matthew Hoyles Lyon. Kyla George McDonald. Kenneth Charles Maddle. Channing Abigail Marengi. Sydney Caroline Marsh. Dylan Bridger Marshall. Mason Joseph Martinello. Quentin McHale. Christopher Lee McIsaac. Tegan Jack Mead. Kelsey Jane Meter. Dylan James Merrill. Malika Mohit.
Joshua Paul Monroe. Alexis Montez. Alyssa Corinne Mullen. Cameron Christopher Murray. Tyler Edward Nason. Christian Alex Navarro. Madison Elizabeth Nguyen. Nicholas Pham Nguyen. Samuel Jeremiah Nicholson. Joshua James Nigro. Jeremy David Nowakowski. Christian Jeremy O'Connell. Victoria Elizabeth Orinder. Isabel Jaden Papanikolaou. Aiden Jared Pasick. Nancy Kanukumar Patel. Skylar Archer Patterson. Kyle Patrick Pearson. An Fan. Olivia Rose Picanzo.
Fletcher Ellis Pike. Evan Grant Piscatelli. Sean Christopher Quinn. Alexandra Sullivan Renier. Benjamin Thomas Riley. Xander Matthew Rolfe. Olivia Rose Rowe. Anthony Everett Russo. Hayden Edward Simonson. Gianna Marie Salvati. Luca James Sanderson. Great job, Luca. Isabella Michelina Savino. John Robert Sales. Josephine Ella Schofield. Isaac Michael Schrempf. There you go, buddy. Skyla Marie Sharp. Great job, Sky. Taylor Ann Shorey. Ashley Eva Silva.
Sophia Rose Sy. William Lundgren Smith.
The good Will Smith. There you go.
Megan Ann Susi.
So proud of
Arthur Godfrey Stanley. Brian William Story. Helena Sophia Strouch. Zoe Star Silvanowitz. Courtney Marie Tardif. Olivia Ann Thistlewood. Ella Catherine Thompson. Colby Chase Trofeter. Ella Margaret Visconti. Trevian Vo.
Excellent job, Trev.
Tyler Votor.
So proud of you, Tyler.
Sophia Antoinette Walsh.
Great job, Trev.
Riley May Watkins. Dylan J. Watson.
Great job, Dylan.
Madeline May Webb.
Great job, Maddie.
Corinne Elizabeth Wayne. Dylan Raymond Wilkinson.
Here you go, bud. Is that the last one? That is the last one.
I now invite the class officers of the class of 2022 to the front of the podium. And now, as the principal of Triton High School, by the authority granted me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Triton Regional School Committee, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to present to you the graduates of the class of 2022. No, wait. Class of 2022, please move your tassels from right to left.
very much. The shivers from being so hot. I'm like,